Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Tuesday, December 28th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. Tuesday morning, we welcome MJ back. She was not here yesterday, or I don't know about last week. I've already forgotten. Anyway, we are on the air for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital as we are each Tuesday here, and we'll get started this morning as we do talk and letting you know a little bit about what's going on there. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital has been serving Wilson County for more than 2 years and continues to grow to meet the needs of the residents in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and surrounding communities. Since becoming part of the Vanderbilt University Medical Center family, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital now has additional services, new equipment, infrastructure, and technology to extend Vanderbilt's level of care into Wilson County. Advancements in care and a greater focus on patient experience bring an elevated level of care to Wilson County. The Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health, which opened last year in Lebanon, brings high-quality, convenient care to the community. The center provides general gynecology services such as pap smears, woman visits, and breast exams, and is equipped to meet the needs of advanced gynecologic patients. Expecting mothers can receive prenatal and pregnancy care, including parenting education and high-risk maternal care, with deliveries and surgeries performed locally at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. The Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health, Lebanon, is the second outpatient clinic location in Wilson County, joining Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health Mount Juliet Clinic, which opened in February 2019. All right, when we don't have a medical professional, it's usually time for somebody from Mount Juliet to come and be with us, and it's my pleasure this morning to have Justin Beasley, the Public Information Officer, who is live in studio with us. Justin, good morning.
I am not a medical professional, so you're lucky there. I don't know the first thing about it.
Well, that's...
Good morning.
Good morning. I hope when I have one here, I ask fairly intelligent questions, but that's kind of the way that works.
I've learned in journalism, the dumber the question, the better the answer. So that can work out for you.
Well, last time you were on the telephone with us 2 weeks ago, and you told us about being the Public Information Officer, and I believe you started in September with Mount Juliet, and still kind of learning your way around the community and meeting new people and this sort of thing.
Yeah, it is, and I've heard about the legend of Coleman, so I had to say, hey, man, I got to get out here and meet him, and, I hope to come out here a little more, just to be in person. I think we took that for granted before COVID of, everything now is on Zoom and through the phone, and certainly there's sometimes where that fits your schedule, but if you can be in person and meet people and connect a name to a face, that serves you well down the road.
Justin, I don't know how much you've done like I'm doing here, sitting here to talk to somebody, but it is much easier. I have found it much easier to have somebody across the table from you where you're sort of eyeball to eyeball rather than on the telephone, and especially somebody that you don't even know. I've done a number of telephone interviews in the 28+ years we've been doing this, but it's not my favorite.
No.
But I will say this, once you get accustomed to that sometimes, like Bob McDonald calls in the commercial every once in a while for the bank, and Kenny Martin has called in a number of times.
Kenny who? I'm kidding. We love Kenny Martin.
Kenny Martin, city manager for Mount Juliet. And you do, after a while, you get to know each other a little better, even on the phone, than somebody the first time you do this. But we did have a good conversation 2 weeks ago.
We did. But you can tell, unless you're a well-established radio station with good rapport with your audience and who you do the radio show with, you can tell if you're on phone or if you're in person. And in person just sounds so much better. And again, we've taken it for granted, but if you can be live and vibrant and read your cues and read my cues and, nod your head and whatever, it just makes a difference. And it's the way that radio was really intended to be.
Right. I don't know whether the average listener understands what we're talking about, but if they sat in our seat for a little while, they really would in a hurry.
They would.
Yeah.
They would. It's different.
Again, you were telling us that you went to, born in Memphis, grew up in Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Came to Nashville, worked for Channel 4.
Yes, sir.
And was in sports, I believe.
Yes, sir. For two and a half years, 3 years, and not to bore everybody, but then the pandemic happened. I moved to news, did some morning stuff with Big Joe on the Go. After that, I did some hard news, and at that point, my wife was praying that I didn't go back to sports because that's late nights and weekends. So eventually I was like, you know what? I don't want to go back to that. I kind of looking for something different. Surely didn't want to do hard news for the rest of my life. There's not a bone in my body that enjoys, the hard news aspect. It can be negative, as you know, watching the television screen. And I was just a sports guy and wanted to show love to the positive stories. And that's what I've been able to do here in Mount Juliet. I say that. On top of that, you get the job in Mount Juliet, and you're like, they've been hit by a tornado in March of 2020, have had some floods. Surely they won't get hit by another tornado as I start the job. Lo and behold, 3 months in, they unfortunately get hit by a tornado. No lives lost, but that Saturday was certainly a learning experience for me as the public information officer, just learning the ropes of what we need to tell our audience, how early we need to tell them, and basically I was local media on the ground, except for Mount Juliet, trying to help out the homeowners.
One thing about coming to Mount Juliet, you meet Kenny Martin, who knows everybody, and their brother just about, and you can pretty much
sister
say
and cousin.
That same thing for Jamie Luffman.
Yes,
and you come there and probably know hardly anybody.
Yeah, it can be intimidating, but I mean, when you talk about good souls and good guys that really care about you and want you to succeed, and I've been blessed enough to have bosses all around that are like that, and I've been blessed to have them too as well. They've been instrumental in helping me get out and about, meet people, and just kind of understand the fabric of the community, which I'm falling in love with more and more every day.
Well, Police Chief
James Hamblin.
James Hamblin
Yes,
has
sir.
come here many times too. And he probably knows just as many people as they do. I don't know.
Man, yes.
Ray Justice, actually, when he was probably still in high school or right after high school, worked here.
Okay.
And he was a disc jockey. He got into news. He sold advertising for a little while.
Okay.
He's one of your members of the Board of Commissioners. And, of course, James Maness is the mayor now.
Right.
I haven't seen as much of him, but he's been here a few times. So I'm pretty well familiar with City Hall.
Yeah, that's good. And, Ray Justice, I did a couple of stories with him at Channel 4 that kind of, understood the city a little bit from his vantage point and some of the issues that they were tackling. So certainly appreciative of that friendship as well. And then James Maness will have a State of the Union, I think, January 19th at the Chamber of Commerce. So you'll be seeing him a lot. We're celebrating 50 years in Mount Juliet next year. I just happened to hop on board at the right time where everything is going good for Mount Juliet, and we hope to expand upon that.
Yeah. Well, you did not have a meeting last night. You had the one meeting in December that we've already talked about, and anything that's happened since then or going to happen before the end of the year that's newsworthy, we can probably get to this morning. But just to let everybody know, there was not a meeting, quote unquote, last night. So you've got some other information that you've compiled for us. I know we talked a little bit about that on the phone yesterday, but it's good to have you with us this morning. And is anything other than since the tornado, say anything really big happened in Mount Juliet that you're aware of?
Well, I'm not going to break news on the radio show, but if you listen to just the radio and don't follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're expected to get a BJ's Wholesale in Mount Juliet. They have submitted their plans to the Planning Commission. I hear the clapping in the background for January 22nd. That will be heard at the board at the Planning Commission. Now, check this out. This will, as I reiterate from Kenny Martin, not hurt local businesses, but expose them. More people from Lebanon, other places are going to come to Mount Juliet if BJ's does indeed come. BJ's is similar to other wholesale stores. They have groceries, wholesale items, bulk items, cheaper gas. I mean, you name it, they're going to be a huge getter for the city of Mount Juliet. 105,000 square feet. Again, that was submitted December 21st. It's going to be a brick-type store in Mount Juliet, so it's going to look fantastic in the Providence Central area. So we are projecting that's going to be around 2023. And again, there's so much traffic in Mount Juliet. We understand that, but that is the reason why BJ's is coming to Mount Juliet, because we have enough people, we have enough homes, and that's going to cut down the traffic time going to other cities and trying to find the same similar items. You're going to have those in your backyard now.
Now, they're going to do a total new construction?
Correct.
Okay. They're not taking over already existing building. They're building their own. To
my knowledge, and again, Coleman, I'm trying to understand the government world 3 months in, but yeah, it's going to be a brick-type building, 105,000 square feet. it is fantastic. We have photos on our Facebook page, and some of the buildings aren't brick, but ours is going to be brick. It's going to be a game changer for the city for sure. It's a huge get for Kenny Martin, our board of commissioners that helped have this happen, and also the people in Mount Juliet that were loyal, stayed here, and really have been begging and praying for some kind of wholesale store, and we've delivered it.
And what you kind of prefaced that with the fact that it's going to attract a lot more people. The other businesses there will get overflow from that. So
absolutely,
that's an advantage as well.
High tide raises all ships. It's all about how you look at it. But Kenny Martin has been around the block a couple of times. When you get a building like this, it's going to expose, like I said, people from Lebanon, surrounding counties, to see what else Mount Juliet has that is surrounding that place, as opposed to taking their business. It's only going to help everyone involved.
Well, we like to keep as much as we can here, of course, but at least if it's in Mount Juliet, it's helping Wilson County. Wilson County gets a share of that sales tax.
Absolutely. That's how it works out. Makes the world go round.
Time for us to take a break. Justin Beasley is with us from Mount Juliet, and our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital here on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got the lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're finishing up a crash over here on 65 southbound near Trinity Lane. It's just so heavy trying to get down through here this time of the morning. Watching it pick up even more now, leaving the Jolton area or coming through the Jolton area on 24 at White Creek Pike. That gets pretty busy this time of the morning. Same goes for the traffic out of Wilson County down I-40 coming through Mount Juliet. Prince's Hot Chicken now available for catering. Check them out at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas and Santa's Village is back for their 12th annual celebration of the magical Christmas season. With over 2 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some rockin' Christmas tunes, you'll experience the dazzling sights and sounds of the Dancing Lights of Christmas from inside the comfort of your own vehicle. And for the first time ever, helicopter rides are available where you can see the lights dance from the sky. The Dancing Lights of Christmas and Santa's Village at the Wilson County Fairgrounds, 5 p.m. nightly, including all holidays. More info at thedancinglightsofchristmas.com.
And we continue here on a Tuesday morning. We thank you for joining us again. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And I want to invite you to join me for my annual year-end review this Thursday morning, 7 a.m., 7:04 to be more exact. We'll go over a month-by-month list of happenings in the year 2021. We'll make note of those noteworthy people who passed away during the year. And that's all during the first half of Coleman and Company coming up this Thursday morning right here on FM 98.9 WCOR AM 900. Justin Beasley's with us this morning, the Public Information Officer for the City of Mount Juliet. And you didn't have such an animal until, I don't recall a Public Information Officer for the city till you became that. That's correct, isn't it?
You are correct.
You've had different people who spoke at different times. In particular, Kenny Martin. He's kind of been the spokesperson for the city for a long time. He must. Is he reclining more, getting into that easy chair a little bit? I can't imagine him doing it, but maybe that he's got you here and you're young and in fact. We just discovered during the break here that question doesn't matter.
Thank you. You saved me from that coming up in my performance review. The dog and Kenny Martin.
I was telling you during the break that I've been doing this program for 28 years. It was started in October of 1993, and your response to that was?
I was born in April of 93, so I know exactly how long you've had this radio show.
You were 6 months old about that when we started.
That is incredible. And to have a show that long, you don't hear people, I mean, local market, national market, 28 years, longevity and passion and just, staying loyal. You don't see that much these days. So good job for you, Coleman.
Well, I live about 2.5 miles from here. It's not, there's 2 traffic lights that I negotiate each morning, and I don't have to. I do get up around 5, but I can get here in 10 minutes easy.
Yeah.
And it's just something to do, and gets me up and going, and it's been great.
We're at our best when we're at work, and I'm sure you're like that as well. I mean, I'm sure you like your weeks off and your vacations, but this gives you some life and allows you to kind of have a finger on the community, which is a special feeling.
Well, you are right. Anything else you want to say about this new addition to Mount Juliet? I've got to build a building, so it's going to be what's the name of the company again?
BJ's Wholesale. And you can find out more information on the website or our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just a couple other things to tell you about. The clock tower has been fixed in Mount Juliet. The store that is being built by the Christmas store is a Dunkin' Donuts. That'll be a welcome addition to Mount Juliet as well. Hermitage Medical is coming across from Rocky Williams. The North District Fire Station that bad boy is up. They've got the foundation. They've got some brick up. We've done a Facebook Live with Fire Chief Jamie Luffman as of last week, so please check that out. Big O Tire on Lebanon Road by Burger King. That's going to be a new development. It'll have an improved appearance. On 70 and Mount Juliet Road, we'll have a Whataburger. You see at that intersection, that space is cleared. Camel Car Wash will be right beside that. That is a full-service car wash that will be a welcome addition to Mount Juliet as well. A medical practice and wash and roll is going to come to Belinda Parkway across from Jason's Deli. Legacy Point, the huge land clearing there by 40 and Golden Bear. You're starting to see that develop. That'll be Class A offices and medical. You won't have to travel again anymore for that. You can stay home here in Mount Juliet. O'Reilly Auto Parts on 70, that is near completion. Used to be an area of vandalism, so that'll be, again, a huge addition to our city and our landscape and the look we're going for. Pet Boys on Highway 70, they have submitted to Planning Commission, so we'll keep you up to date on that. MedCorp Retail Development on Highway 70, that is close to Advanced Auto Parts. That's coming on board soon. Cadillac Development at Paddock's Development on 40. That deal is done with the Planning Commission, and that dealer is Nelson Andrews. We can't wait to have him in Mount Juliet. And Providence Central Development, that is going well. A lot of land clearing there, so a lot happening in Mount Juliet. We're proud to say.
You mentioned earlier, you alluded to traffic in Mount Juliet. What's your experience been? Is it you have a problem getting from point A to point B?
Well, I used to work in Nashville. I live in Murfreesboro, so I would put Mount Juliet traffic honestly third behind all three of them. But that's the thing, Kenny Martin has elaborated on it so concisely. If you're going to go to another county, sit in their traffic, go to their store, spend money there, why not sit in our traffic for less time and spend money and it stays in the city? Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense, and you probably do it in half the time. I mean, if you don't want traffic, I always dog on my wife's hometown, go to Waynesboro. Yeah. They don't have traffic because there's nothing to do there. God love Waynesboro. God loves every place. But, if you want more things happening, go to a place where there's traffic. That usually tells you something.
Well, you got a good point there. But traffic has been a problem. It's been a conversation piece for quite some time in Mount Juliet, and they've made some efforts to deal with it. Made some improvements. Of course, widening the main street there years ago was a big help. But I don't think they're through. And of course, what's happening right now over I-40 there is going to expedite things as well. By the way, do you know how that's coming along?
Yes, it's still going good. I think they have the southbound added lane. If you're going southbound, that added lane is done. Now they're working on one more. That'll make 7 lanes, if I'm not mistaken. That should be done sometime in the spring. We hope and pray that that's still the case with, hopefully no severe weather, hopefully no not another week of snow like we had last year to keep that development going. But that's going to be a huge deal. And that's just the thing. You can never have enough roads, and we're trying to catch up and maintain with how many people are coming to Mount Juliet. People are going to use those roads, whether new businesses come or not. We're just doing our best to work with the state, work with TDOT, and work with our budget to make sure that we have the infrastructure needed to supply that.
It's my understanding Mount Juliet sort of stepped up to the plate even on this widening this bridge there, and maybe did some preliminary studies that they paid for, or they put they put a little bit of money out front to enhance or to get the state to start it sooner, and it enhanced the whole thing.
I'm certainly not an engineer, but Andy Barlow's a smart man, and he's done a lot to improve, getting that sooner. And there's ways to work around and try to say, hey, we want this. Because listen, every town is just like Mount Juliet. They're like, hey, when are you going to get to this road? We're trying to do this. And we're just doing our best to work with them and their resources and their help to make sure we get it on time. And it's a battle for everyone, but we're certainly appreciative of TDOT.
Well, another thing you've had for quite some time, but I think it's an area that has a lot of potential for growth, is the Golden Bear Gateway. And I hear about that from time to time. I don't know what all is available there, but it is certainly a nice road that has benefited the city very much.
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned earlier, Legacy Point's coming there. That's going to be more Class A offices and medical, but you look at Golden Bear, the possibilities really are endless with what you could do there and what it would look like. And that's certainly something, I'm helping out Kenny Martin with economic development when I can. And we're exploring all kind of options. And I wish we could fast forward 5 or 10 years and see what it's going to look like. But the possibilities really are endless. A lot of people want to come to Mount Juliet, and that's a great spot to start.
Well, another thing that's on the drawing board, even I understand, and that's Interchange at Central Pike, which is just, half a mile or 3/4 of a mile down the road from the one you have now, and the great development that's going to be taking place to the south there, I understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities there as well. I'm getting to know the city and more of what everything is happening around me, and I'm new to the government world, so it's so fascinating. You almost feel convicted that you weren't involved more so, and I think that's what people are starting to understand. Be involved in your city commission meetings and your government meetings and your school board meetings, and I'm trying to understand all of that in a 3-month span. It's my head's hurting, Coleman.
Now, come Saturday, it'll be January 1st. We'll get the government going in January. You'll be meeting on the 2nd and 4th months? Correct.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have a report from those, hopefully. That's our schedule. Do you know has anything been talked about what would be on the plate maybe come January? And I'm wondering because you didn't have enough to have a meeting even last night. You took care of that earlier in the month of December.
Right. Basically, some of the big points is just we're celebrating our 50th birthday next year. Mayor Manis will have a State of the Union at the Chamber of Commerce. I believe that is January 19th. I would look for something on the calendar in the summer to celebrate the city of Mount Juliet's 50th birthday. We're going to try to do something every month, whether it's something on social media or a little event, but we're going to get the city involved with something in the summer. We're working on that. I hate to tease everyone, but I've learned best from Kenny Martin. He's just a big tease. He didn't tell me about BJ's Wholesale until the day that they brought it into the Planning Commission. So I'm just going to tease our audience with that, but be looking forward to that sometime in the summer.
Yeah. Well, another thing you mentioned a while ago, we're getting one here in Lebanon, too. And it sounds like you're saying Waterburger.
Yeah.
What a burger.
What a burger.
And with 2 of them in Wilson County, we're gonna see something. I don't know which one's going to get going first. Probably yours, but I'm not sure. Do you know?
I don't know. They're just clearing stuff out right now and making sure that the grading is right, if I'm not mistaken. But I travel to Gulf Shores pretty often. I always stop at one in Alabama. I usually don't get a burger. I usually get a chicken sandwich, and it's fantastic. The fries are good. The service is good. So I don't see why it's going to be. If they can do it in Alabama, we can do it in Mount Juliet, right?
Yeah, sure.
No offense to anybody from Alabama. We love y'all too.
Right. Well, we've got just about a minute here, but we can wrap it up here mentioning Titans this morning. I saw part of that game last night between the Dolphins and New Orleans, and they kicked their rear ends.
I couldn't watch anymore. It's boring.
Oh, wait, and I'm wondering, are the Dolphins that good?
Seven straight.
They have their work cut out for them.
They do, and then Miami plays them, and then I believe they play the Patriots the next week. So they have 7 straight wins. They're going to probably need 9 straight to make the playoffs. But yeah, the Titans, hey, they're a good team too. They're trying to find some health, but yeah, Sunday not going to be easy at all for the Titans for sure.
But if they can win out, and maybe Kansas City get knocked off.
Well, they certainly match up good with Kansas City, but if I was a betting man, I'd go Kansas City or the Colts. I know that's hard to say here and close to Nashville, but the Colts are playing good football.
Good. They had a horrible start too.
Yeah, and they were losing close games with the new quarterback there. You don't want to play them or the Chiefs. You don't want to play a healthy Titans team either, but you get in the tournament, anything can happen, right?
You're exactly right. That's why they play them.
And not on paper.
Well, Justin, thanks for coming out this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
We've done some redecorating in here in Studio B where we get those new ceiling tiles. You can't even tell we had that water come down.
That's fantastic.
Thank you very much for your good report this morning, and we'll talk again in January.
Happy 28 years.
All right. Thank you very much. Justin Beasley, he's the Public Information Officer for City of Mount Juliet. That is part 1 of Coleman & Company and brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. We hope you'll keep it right here and stay with us for more on Coleman & Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, Lamprey, quality tractor implements including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty. Extremely durable and well-built. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning, EMS on the scene of this wreck over here as we check it out live. 440 westbound, just past Murphy Road, right there near I-40. Again, some minor injuries involved in this crash. It's got it pretty slow. Again, that's 440 westbound. As you come past Murphy Road, West End, it'll start to bog down on you. Still a lot of radar on I-40 this morning. Coming in from Hickman County through Dixon County, watch yourself around 840. Princess Hot Chicken now available for catering. Log on to princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Time to ring in the new year with your Tennessee Titans as they host the Miami Dolphins this Sunday. From Nissan Stadium, the award-winning Titans Countdown happens at 11. Then Mike Keith and Dave McGinnis break down every play of Titans and Dolphins with a kickoff set for noon. It's Titans Radio. Happy New Year.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Ball Plumbing, the Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas and Tennessee 811. Call before you dig.
This is Titans Radio, 98.9 WANT.
At Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, world-class care is a heartbeat away. In fact, we offer the same world-class attention Middle Tennessee has come to rely on from a Vanderbilt Health hospital. Supported by over 200 specialties, an expanded emergency department staffed with Vanderbilt Health physicians 24/7, and greater investments in life-saving technologies and care. It's just one more way we're making healthcare personal.
A few light scattered showers are in the forecast today, so you'll need the umbrella. On Wednesday, more widespread showers and storms will be moving through. Temperatures on Wednesday top out in the upper 60s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday morning. Sean Dozier has graced us with his presence, and he's here to talk about Hearthside Senior Living. Good morning.
I've never seen you in a long sleeve T-shirt. You look nice.
Oh, well,
WANT, Real Country 98.9.
Susie presented us all with one of these, and I thought I should at least show my appreciation and wear it.
Well, it looks really nice.
It may be that she'll be out here before we get through
She
and
may
get
be.
a picture and put it on Facebook.
Well, with the new logo and the shirt, it looks really, really nice.
We're coming on in this room, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I think we're about the only three working out there. There's not a lot of cars on the road today. So I don't know who we're talking to, but maybe they're at home listening to us.
Sean Dozier, Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. They've been there for a while, and things seem to be really going fine.
Well, I hope so. We've had a good year, and we're closing out 2021 on a high note. We've got several folks that are going to be moving in 2022. You know, people like to make reservations ahead of time to get their rooms settled in, and so we're looking forward to turning the page and moving on. You know, it's been a long 2 years for all of us, and it seems to continue to be going with this COVID thing. But
every time we think we've got a step forward, or maybe we've just gotten out of it, then something else seems to happen.
It does.
And the news last 2 or 3 days hasn't been all that good.
It really hasn't.
You've got to be concerned
I
about
am concerned. You know, we continue to wear our masks, continue to take temperatures as people come in the building, and have all the precautions that we can. But the good news is we're not shutting down anymore. You know, the CMS has said, you know, you don't have to shut down, and you can allow people to come in to see their loved ones, which is good. That isolation was really just terrible. But anyway, we're opened up. We're giving tours. We do have a few rooms available. So obviously, if you have a need, we have some rooms available. So stop by and see us, or give us a call at 615-443-1994. You know, we're right there in the middle of town, so we're easy to get to, right there on Castle Heights. And we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, you have the retirement community, of course, which we talk about some, but when you're full and have a long waiting list, which you really do.
We do. You know,
a pretty good long one, don't
the
we?
retirement community, we have 30 homes, 2 and 3 bedroom homes. We like to say maintenance-free living, and they're very popular, and we keep a waiting list for those homes. The good news is I'm about to make a call after New Year's to a couple who's been on that waiting list for a long time and offer them one of our 3-bedroom homes. We've had a transition out, so I think in the next week or so, I'll be able to call them, and they'll be very excited about that. Yeah. They call it their forever home, and they've been waiting for their forever home for forever. And so it's been a while. So I'm looking forward to making that call. It'll make them very happy, and they'll move in. They'll be a great addition to our community. And, you know, Hearthside's a very special place. It's been there since 1994. It started with the assisted living, and just has served so many people over the years, and I'm glad to be a part of that tradition.
Well, you have a fine staff there to back you up, and I think you'd be the first to say you couldn't do it all by yourself. But
you know, I went by there this morning, and Cindy was already working, passing meds, and I saw Gabby and Alicia and Kim and our kitchen staff. Crystal was there. You know, you just can't do it by yourself. And Crystal's been there over 20 years, and Cindy's been there over 6 years. So it's just it helps when people know the residents. They know what they like. They know their likes and dislikes. They just know their peculiar things that they like, and so it's great to have that longevity at Hearthside.
Well, are you ready for a Hearthside hello?
Yes, if you look through that glass window there, MJ's birthday is January 1st, and I want to close out the year giving my Hearthside hello to MJ. You know, our relationship started about 20 years ago on a cold January morning out in Gladeville. Were you there?
I don't remember that.
And Susie was there.
Oh, you mean the race?
Yeah, yes. We started out there on a cold, trying to sell a couple tickets, and she's always been very kind to me, and I want to give her the final Hearthside hello for 2021. You're welcome.
You have made her day.
Good. Speaking of knowing people a long time, I've known your next guest for a long, long time, back to Old Hickory days. I mean, I remember him speaking to our youth group back in the day, so he's come a long way.
Well, you keep everybody in suspense here for a minute. But thanks for being with us.
Happy New Year, Coleman.
I hope that 2022 is a good one for you.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Sean Dozier, Executive Director for Hearthside Senior Living, again, retirement and assisted living community at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. Give them a call, 615-443-1994. Well, we're about 22 before the hour, and it is my pleasure to introduce John Shoulders this morning, Friendship Christian School, who is live in studio with us. John, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It's so good to be here.
Well, it is nice to see you again. I have not seen you in a while.
It has been a while. I guess this last 22 months has kind of taken everybody away. And
well, that's part of it. Of course, at one time, I did a little Aflac down at
that's right.
And,
we at least saw you once a year for sure.
Well, all right. Is that better? I turned the wrong knob down. I'm sorry. I'm still learning this a little bit. But anyway, you have been at Friendship for a good while. And at one time, you were a sponsor of our program.
That's
here.
right.
Came every week for maybe a year, I think. And,
well, yeah, it was. And in the beginning, I've been there 20 years now, Coleman. It is hard to believe. You blink, and I tell you, a decade passes. So,
well, we have not. We've had some people on from Friendship from time to time, but honestly, in the last few months and maybe last 2 or 3 years, not as many maybe as we used to. And I don't know, you crossed my mind the other day, and I thought, I'm needing a guest. Why not John Shoulders?
Well, I appreciate it, and I realize that again, as our times have changed, so much more is done through social media now, and so we have people on staff that's all they do is work within that, and so maybe we've neglected this wonderful radio opportunity that we need to use more for sure.
Well, one thing I want to be sure and get out, because when I talked to Susie about having you out here, and she said, if you should have John Shoulders as a guest, Gordon, that's her grandson.
That's right.
Is only the third generation student in the school's history.
Absolutely.
Kendra, Lester, Ray, and I both had our children and grandchildren attending.
Both of them graduated the same class, and then they had Christopher and Susie's oldest and Kendra's oldest were near classes together. I think one was 03 and one was 04, but it's neat because a lot of their children have gone through together, and now Lindsay's little girl and Chelsea's little boy is there together.
Are you the longest tenured, what do we call you, headmaster?
Headmaster, president,
whomever. Have you been in that position longer than anybody else?
I have.
In the history of Friendship?
Yeah, we're almost at 50 years. We started in 1973, and so we're coming up on 50 years here in the next year or so. So we're excited.
Every once in a while when I see Ken Beck, I remind him he was the first football coach.
I know, and we still have a picture with he and Mr. Hackney. That they were coaching the very first football team, and a lot of those boys, which is great. A lot of those people in that picture have sent their children and grandchildren now to Friendship Christian. It's fun to go back. I think that's the greatest joy of being at a place for a long time, is that now, I have the blessing to see Chelsea walk in with her child, and every day. I mean, we're just being just overwhelmed with people who are wanting to come and bring their children, and a lot of those people are our alumni.
John, at one time it seemed like you were sort of bursting at the seams, and you've had some building programs over the years. And of course, Friendship is a private school. You don't get government funding that I know of.
Right.
And so you have some challenges in that way. How are you right now?
It is, not to want to jinx or do anything, but it's probably the best it's ever been. And we have an incredible board of directors that have just we've been able to work together very, very closely, and we've built a very strong school. We are academically strong. We are spiritually strong. We want to provide for our families the very best that we can. We try to provide for our students emotionally and socially, but we also try to make it possible for as many people to be able to go there as they can. Right now, I have like at least 6 grades that have waiting lists.
Oh,
and so we have 15 times more people who have already made application for next year this time than we have in the last couple of years. So this pandemic, as horrible and terrible as it has been, it has sent a lot of people our way because we've been blessed to be able to be in school. And we went home the very first 3 months after the March of 2020. The first day of fall break or spring break, our teachers gathered together and figured out what we would do. And we were lucky to be a one-to-one school where every kid had a device that they could go home with and communicate. So we rallied everybody together, got that done during that 2-week break, and then we came back and started school. We finished remotely, but after that day, we have been in school. And that has been an opportunity for us to have a lot of families join us, because what you and your first guest were talking about, there's something about in-person. There's something about in-person learning, and you can do it otherwise. And there are great advantages. And I love the fact that we have the ability, if somebody cannot be there, to be able to be virtual. But that face-to-face interaction, it's more than just what happens in learning. It's what's happens socially. It's what's happens is just being able to see and to touch and to be a part of community with somebody, because that's so important to our education in life.
What's the future, next 5 years look like? You probably have a 5-year plan.
We do, and it's what you kind of mentioned a minute ago. It's build, and we have been overwhelmed with the generosity of our patrons, and they have just recently given a lot of money to help us to be able to do some things that we're going to begin some building, that we're going to announce to them, that we're going to be constructing some different buildings on campus that are going to help us to be able to meet these demands and growth. But of course, as anyone knows, right now building is very difficult to get going, because there's just not the supplies that are there, and then of course the shortage in labor.
Right. Well, you're not landlocked by any means.
No, sir. We have 50 acres.
So you have room for physical growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's about time for us to take a break. Let's do that. John Shoulders, president, headmaster, whatever, Friendship Christian School, with us this morning. We've got a lot more to talk about here in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, that regular oil change, $24.95 up to 5-course oil, tax and disposal, $16.73 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to wrap up this crash out here on 440 westbound, just past West End as you merge on there to I-40. It should be out of there hopefully in just a few minutes, but it's had traffic a little slow go at times on 440 westbound. Again, just past Murphy Road, West End. Traffic's building pretty good out here. 65 coming past Trinity Lane. Prince's Hot Chicken now available for catering. Check them out online at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
And we continue. Welcome to our final segment here on Coleman and Company on a Tuesday morning. And let me just remind you that this Thursday morning, I'm going to be doing my annual year-end review, and I hope you'll join me for that at 7 o'clock, 7:04 to be more exact. We'll go over a month-by-month list of happenings in the year 2021. We'll make note of those noteworthy people who passed away during the year. So that's this Thursday morning, first half of Coleman and Company, 7:04 to 7:30. So hope you'll join us. And I hope you'll stay with us here as we continue our discussion with John Shoulders this morning. As I said earlier, it's been a while since he's been on the program, and it's really good to see you. And you maybe you look a little bit older. You didn't have a beard the last time I saw you. Maybe not as much gray hair, but you look good.
Well, my kids jokingly with my little goatee this time and it being gray, they said I look like the snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So,
well, I think that you have every right to be especially pleased and proud of where friendship is. You've been there for a lot of growth. You've had some good times, probably some a few bad times, some challenges, like we all do.
Everybody does.
But you're bringing us a really good report this morning.
Well, it has been a blessing. And when you work with people like Veronica Bender, whom everybody in this county knows, and Veronica has been she's been in education for 49 years. Now, she's the first person ever started teaching while she was a baby. So, and she's amazing in what she does, and the best principal I've ever been around or ever worked with by far. And she just has a natural gift. She just has a gift that, and we tell her all the time, you're just the best thing. And she has blessed our community in such a tremendous way. And being able to help us find the best teachers, she helps us to be able to do that. She talks to everyone. She knows everyone. And so many people want to come and be a part of it. And I can't tell you how many times we have a lot of people that say, hey, I'm retiring next year. You got any spot for a part-time this or part-time that? Because they want to just spend some time with her. And she has surrounded herself with a great team of people. And there are so many people that we work with that make friendship what it is.
Well, I'm not familiar with a few, but one that does come to mind that's been there for a long time, and I think he's done a pretty good job as the athletic director and your football and baseball coach, John McNeil.
John McNeil is incredible. And I tell you what, John has done for that school in so many ways, a thing that people wouldn't even know. Just, we recently put turf on our athletic field, on the football field. And it's truly an athletic field because we play soccer on there as much now as we do football. But it gives us that option. We can use it for a variety of sports. Every single day, some group is using that field. It's on the weekends there's a Game On Sports, and on the others there's groups out there all the time. And John, he led the campaign for us to be able to do that, and helped us get sponsors that were able to pay for that without, again, it costing the school anything. Other people helped us pay for that, which then in turn has brought us so many people to our campus. Because you got to be going to Friendship. You don't just happen upon it. We're out there on Colesbury Pike, and so many people didn't know about us, even as being a part of this community for almost 50 years. It's still been a kind of a joke, the best kept secret. But when they come out and they see our setting and they see our facilities and they experience what we want them to be able to hopefully see and experience, then they'll start inquiring about bringing their children, to school. And John said, even though he's an old school, I'd rather play on grass field, he realized what's best for the school. He led that. And so I tell people, yes, he's a great football coach and he loves football, and he's a great baseball coach and he loves baseball. But he's more a friendship supporter, athletic director, doing what's best for the school before he would do what's best even for his own personal preference, which I love that.
Well, you mentioned Veronica Bender, but I think more in an administrative way. You've had some good teachers, some good educators.
Absolutely.
And I think some of them are still with you. Some of them, I imagine, are getting ready to retire. But
well, and we do. Every year we'll have one or two, but a lot of times that people stay. We've got Ron Welch that's been there since 1977.
That's who I was trying to think of, and I know Ron, and I consider him a friend. We don't know each other that well, but I have a high respect for him.
And the kids,
and he's been there for a long time.
Yes, and the kids still adore him and they respect him. And the fact of he now has his grandchildren there in second grade, and he has the twins, and they are precious. And he wants to be there because he wants to be there with them. He wants to experience that again as he experienced it with his own girls when he was teaching there. So it has been a blessing to see those kind of opportunities come full circle for our teachers. And we have Miss Susan Baker's been there a long time. And this past year we lost Kathy Carey, which was just a godsend to us in so many ways as a teacher, and the time that she spent there. And we recently have redone our library in her honor.
Oh,
and so
how nice.
We'll be having an official dedication coming up, but just some things that to let some of those teachers know. And matter of fact, one of the buildings we're trying to build is kind of a hall of legacy, that we want to have a place where we can put up the names and tell a little bit of the story of some of those people that have been a part of the history a Friendship Christian School over the last 50 years.
Well, I do remember when it started, and of course at that time Jack Hendrickson. I don't.
Yes.
Do you remember?
I do.
Okay, he
I
owned
do.
a radio station, and of course was a big supporter and so on. So I kind of remember the humble beginnings, because I think your first school was actually over to College Street Church of Christ
For 3
building.
years. Yes, it sure was.
And then, of course, Dr. Sam McFarland meant so much to it all with the land right across from his farm down there, his farmhouse. And
Yeah,
everything.
donated 37 acres to us in the beginning for us to be able to begin that school right there.
Well, there's been a lot of other people. I think the Bay family's
Absolutely
been big supporters,
and the Lester family.
Yes.
I mean, there are so many people that have,
And we'll leave somebody out here.
Oh, yes. Well,
But
you can't.
I'd rather mention a few and mention them even when we do leave somebody out, because they deserve it.
Absolutely. Well, like I say, schools like ours would not exist if it wasn't for the generosity and the blessing of those that have come along the way. And, you know, I always kind of joke. I said we're kind of the school that Cracker Barrel built. And because so many of the people that were blessed with wealth and other things to be able, and this generosity of heart that already existed, were a part of that organization or connected to it. Either they were a supplier. You know, I still love to hear the story. I don't know if you've ever heard the Bay family tell the story of how Peggy started baking the bread, and then Charlie carrying that to Danny. And I tell you what, I would get so excited when he would tell that. And Danny telling me the story from his side when he was still around, of how he went out to Colonial and how he went out to Vanderbilt and all these, trying to get somebody else to replicate it, and they couldn't. I mean, they could not replicate it. And you know, that Bay bread, there's still nothing like it. And every year somebody will bring me some for Christmas, and I'm like, yes, this is wonderful. And it just connects us to our beginnings as a school.
You've had some peaks and valleys. I don't know whether I should ask you the worst thing you've had to deal with or not. COVID hadn't been any fun, for sure.
Probably this year, in the last month, we lost two parents, a mother and a father, of two of our kids due to COVID, and one right at Thanksgiving, and the other 3 weeks later. And just as a community, going through that, and having the opportunity to be Jesus to them, and supporting not only within our school, but so many people within our community. I know a fundraiser page was started for that family by one of our parents, and within a few days they'd raised over $100,000 to make sure that their children were being taken care of. And the sweet sister of the mom that passed away came in here, and her husband are relocating to this area so those kids can stay at our school and still be a part of the community here. So, I mean, we see God working in that, but man, it's been hard. And to see families hurting and struggling. We lost another parent early in the year of one of our football players, and it was so hard, but yet I've watched our students rally around one another and our families come around one another. And again, what we have in this community is exactly, it's a family feeling community. And there's so many new people that are coming in here. And every other call seems like our school is coming from California or the West Coast, or families that are relocating this area. And I believe that draw is that people want community. They want family. They want to have connection. And I think that's what our school system here does provide. And it still has that feel, no matter how big some of our schools get, we still have that family community feel to it.
We haven't talked a lot about academic success, but we've got a couple of minutes. You can brag a little bit about there, because I know you have some stories to tell.
Well, we're very, very proud of our students and what they've done. And just keep it in the vein of what we talked about. So many of our kids that have gone on to the medical field, especially that are nurses. And we've got students that I talked to that have graduated. They're traveling nurses, and they're literally going all over the country working. So many of our own have come there and have come back and are making differences in our community. We recently had one of our graduates that's just been named the new CFO at Wilson Bank and Trust, and Kayla Hawkins. So we're just celebrating with her and with others, and these opportunities that we see kids come through and work hard academically, get the opportunity to continue their education. Whether it be through their academics or whether it be through athletics. Either way, that getting that opportunity to go to the next level and then seeing them take what they've gained, what they've earned, and then using that to bless other people's lives. And that is the joy, is seeing these alumni being proud of them.
Got one more thing I've got to bring up here, and this can be a short answer, probably needs to be because we're nearly out of time, but you've been there longer than anybody else. I'm just wondering, is retirement on your mind at all? Is that something you even talk about?
I'm only 58, so I still feel, I feel young, and I hope I can go another 10. If not, man, I know there'll be other great people that'll step right in and we'll never miss a beat. But there's no plan in my immediate future for that, Coleman.
So you're still going to be the big cheerleader and leader that you have been all these years.
Absolutely, coach, and I teach one class in the spring semester still every year, and so I love staying connected with the students, and they are the lifeblood. They're the lifeblood of our school, and then blessed by our incredible teachers that just pour into them. So that's what I love. I love those opportunities, and it's been a great experience.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to be with us today. It's good to see you again, and glad to hear the good news from Friendship. And hopefully it won't be as long before you come back again as it has been since you were here.
Well, I am available anytime. You give me a call, and I'll be glad to be here.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us this morning. John Shoulders, Friendship Christian School. That's going to do it for a Tuesday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Wednesday edition. And until tomorrow, I wish you a terrific day.